Welcome back. State officials are vowing to fight back against one of President Trump's latest executive orders, a sweeping overhaul of voting rules. The order would require Americans to prove their citizenship when they register to vote.
And that's bad. So it's amazing, right? So illegal immigrants can't vote, but proving you're a citizen is bad. So if illegal immigrants can't vote, then why is proving you're a citizen bad? You're going to have to explain that one to me. Let's see if they do. I doubt it.
Which could be tricky for people without passports. About half of Americans don't have passports. Joining us now is Colorado's Democratic Secretary of State, Jena Griswold. Secretary, thank you for coming on with us. You've called this executive order unlawful. Explain why.
Well, good morning. Thank you for having me on. I call it likely unlawful because President Trump is trying to grab power that he does not have. Look, a president can't just grab power from Congress and dictate the national law of the land. That's not how this country works. And one of the requirements in the executive order is to change the national voter registration form to require proof or evidence of citizenship. Now, as you mentioned, this would potentially disenfranchise millions of people all across the nation and disproportionately affect women, people of color, and blue-collar Americans.
Disproportionately affect women, people of color, and blue-collar Americans. Well, that's like, I mean, women, that's 50% right there. Then you add up the rest. So the majority of people are going to be disproportionately affected.
Yes.
Explain why that would disproportionately affect those particular groups.
Explain,
Because they don't have passports, they can't afford passports. Are there other IDs that could be used to prove citizenship?
Well, part of the issue with the executive order is it is not totally clear. The executive order says that if someone has a real ID that shows citizenship, they could use that. Most real IDs, many real IDs actually do not show citizenship. That we're talking about your driver's license. So it heavily relies on passports. And frankly, passports are expensive. They're like $160+.
I tell you what's not expensive. A birth certificate. So if you have a real ID, a driver's license, and a birth certificate that shows you were born in the United States. So what are you talking about? You're talking about just people that don't have driver's licenses at that point, right? Because I'm going to assume that if you don't have a driver's license or an ID at all, then you can't buy a pack of cigarettes. You can't go to the liquor store. You can't pick up prescriptions. You can't buy Sudafed where I live. You need an ID to buy a medicine, right? But you shouldn't have to have an ID to vote. It's a wild stretch. It's an argument that's not going anywhere, right? They're going to keep hammering this down, hammering at this, saying that it's racist, saying all these things about it, and in the end, you know, the problem with all. Not the problem. The great thing about leftist ideas is that they're very surface level, and they play well on a chyron or on as a headline or as a bumper sticker or things like that. Like, you know, the fact that voter ID is racist. You just use that statement, put it out there, and you're good. Your followers will go along with you. They won't question it. They'll take it to the bank, and they'll keep espousing it and keep telling people it without ever anyone asking the question why, right? Why? It's racist. Why? Are you saying that black people or Spanish people or whatever people, they don't have identification? Like, is that a thing? Like, okay, and if they don't have identification, and if they can't find it in here's the other thing, right? And this is another point, right? If a person without identification is so wanting to cast their, like, I don't see those two individuals as it's like got to be like a unicorn, right? It's somebody that has no need or want to get an ID, but is extremely like focused in on voting for whatever. Like, how is that person real in our society? How is it someone that doesn't want, yeah, I can't be bothered to get an ID. Nah, I don't need one. But oh my God, November 5th, I have to get out there and cast my vote. My vote matters. It's a absolute, it's crock.
Many people do not have them. And people of color don't have them at a higher rate than the average American. And then on top of that, women who get married, well, then they have to jump through an additional hoop if they change their last names. Yep. So let's be very clear. Trump and MAGA Republicans have been focused for years on disenfranchising Americans all across the country. And this is a perpetuation of that.
What are you going to do about it? Is Colorado planning to sue?
Of course.
Well, we're in conversations, but I do think we'll see litigation. There is a lot in this executive order. And like I mentioned, a lot is unclear. And ultimately, states need to be able to run elections coming up here very soon. Another provision in the order says that states that receive ballots after Election Day cannot count them. Again, this is potentially Donald Trump trying to grab power from Congress and dictating what federal law is. That's not how this country works. But that would be a huge impediment to many states across the country because that's how they run elections right now.
Well, they got to change.
Colorado Secretary of State Jenna Griswold. Got to leave it there for.
They're going to have to change. They're going to have to figure it out. Hopefully, right? I mean, counting, I don't know. It should be election day. Get back to the paper. Oh, I mean, tons of third world countries figured this out. I get it. We're a big country. Our elections are kind of scattered because there's a federal and a state election, stuff like that. But yeah, I mean, it's just an amazing, like just the voter ID thing is just, that's all you guys have. That's all you have. I gotta do a deep dive and ask Grok how many people don't have IDs in the country other than children, because, obviously that's they all for the most part don't. Yeah, guys, thanks a lot. Give me a like, give me a share, give me a subscribe. Thanks for coming out. We'll see you again real soon. Thank you.